In today's video, we learn about addition and subtraction of algebraic expressions. Example 1. Simplify the expression given below. So to add or subtract an algebraic expression, we first have to know the definition of like terms, right? In maths, like terms are terms that contain the same variables and raised to the same exponents, right? So for example, suppose we have 2x and 5x, right? Now here we have this to be x and this is also x. And here x is raised to an exponent of 1 and here x is raised to an exponent of 1. And so these two terms are like terms, right? So for example, suppose we have, let's say, 2x squared y and 3xy. So here we have this guy to be x squared and this to be x, right? Although this is y, but the exponent on the x here is not the same as the exponent on the x here, right? And so these two guys are not like terms. To simplify this expression, the first step is to group all like terms. So we have to group all the like terms in this expression. And the second step is to add or subtract the like terms. And so let's group the like terms. So we have this guy to be x squared y. Now we look through the remaining expression to see if we can find a term that contains x squared y, right? So here we have this guy to be x squared y. And so these two guys are like terms. And also we have this guy to be x squared y, right? So now here we are going to have this guy and also this as like terms, right? Now let's consider this guy here. So here we have xy squared, right? We also have xy squared, and so these two guys are like terms. And we also have xy squared, and so we have these three guys to be like terms. Thus, we have this, and that to be like terms, right? So now let's group all the like terms. And so we are going to have 3x squared y, then plus 5x squared y minus x squared y. Then we now move on to the one underlined in red ink. So that will be minus 4xy squared minus 2xy squared, then plus 7xy squared. Right. And so we've now grouped all the like terms. So let's move on to add the like terms here. So here we have 3x squared y plus 5x squared y. So that's going to be 8, right? So that will be 8x squared y minus x squared y, right? So that's going to be 7x squared y. So we are going to have this guy to be equal to 7x squared y, right? And also here we have minus 4xy squared minus 2xy squared plus xy squared, right? So now we have minus 4 minus 2, that will be minus 6. Then minus 6 plus 7, that's going to be 1, right? So that will be 1xy squared plus xy squared, right? Because we don't write the coefficient when it's 1, right? So here we have our results to be 7x squared y plus xy squared. Example 2. Add this expression to this expression, right? Solution. So here we have minus 4pq squared plus 3q cubed minus 2p cubed plus 5p squared q plus, so here we are supposed to add this guy to that guy, so that will come to the right hand side, right? So plus 4p cubed minus 3p squared q plus 2pq squared minus q cubed, right? Then we can now open the brackets. So here, since the coefficient here is 1, when you open the brackets, you're going to have the same expression. So that will be minus 4pq squared plus 3q cubed minus 2p cubed plus 5p squared q, right? And we also open the brackets here. So here we have the coefficient here to be plus 1. So that would just give us the same expression. So that will be plus 4p cubed minus 3p squared cube plus 2p q squared minus q cube, right? So as we did in the first example, we are going to group all the like terms, right? So here we have minus 4pq squared and we also have 2pq squared, right? So here we have the variables to be pq squared, right? So these two guys are like terms. And here we have q cube and we also have q cube here, right? So these two guys are also like terms. And we have p cube, we also have p cube here, right? And then lastly, we have p squared q and p squared q, right? So these two guys are also like terms. Let's start with the one underlined in red ink. So we will have minus 4pq squared plus 2pq squared. Then let's move to the one underlined in green ink. So that would be plus 3q cube minus q cube. Then let's move to the one in light blue. Then minus 2p cube. Then plus 4p cube. And lastly, we have 5p squared q minus 3p squared q, right? So we've now been able to group all the like terms. So then we can add or subtract the like terms. So here we have minus 4 plus 2. That's going to be minus 2. So we have minus 2pq squared. And here we have 3 minus 1. So that's going to give us 2. So that's plus 2q cube. Then here also we have minus 2 plus 4. So that's going to give us 2. So that will be plus 2p cube. And lastly, we have 5 minus 3. So that's going to give us 2p squared q, right? And so this is the simplified expression of our given equation. With our third question, we have to subtract this guy from this guy solution, right? So here we have to write this guy first because we are subtracting this from this guy, right? So we are going to have 3m squared n plus 8mn squared minus 2m squared n squared, right? Then minus, so here we have to put it in brackets since we are subtracting the whole expression, right? So that will be 7m squared n minus 5mn squared plus 4m squared n squared, right? So here our next step is to distribute the minus sign, right? So here we are going to have minus 1 multiplying this guy, then minus 1 multiplying this, and minus 1 multiplying that, right? So let's see what we're going to have. And so we're going to have 3m squared n plus 8mn squared minus 2m squared n squared. Then minus 1 times 7 is going to be minus 7. Then m squared n. Then minus 1 times minus 5 is going to be plus, right? Because minus minus will be plus when you are multiplying. So that will be plus 5mn squared. And now here we have minus 1 times 4. That's going to be minus 4. Then m squared n squared, right? So our next step is to group like terms. So here we have 3m squared n. We also have m squared n, right? So these two guys are like terms. So that's we're going to have 3m squared n minus 7m squared n. Here we have mn squared. We also have mn squared, right? So that's we're going to have plus 8mn squared plus 5mn squared. Now lastly, we have m squared n squared. We also have m squared n squared, right? So that will be minus 2m squared n squared minus 4m squared n squared, right? So we've been able to group all the like terms. and so we can add or subtract these like terms. So here we have 3 minus 7, that's going to give us minus 4. So that's minus 4 m squared n. And we have 8 plus 5, so that's going to give us 13. So that's 13 m n squared. Then here we have minus 2 minus 4, that's going to give us minus 6. So that's minus 6 m squared n squared, right? So this is our simplified expression for the given example, right? Example 4. Simplify this expression. Right? Solution. So we start by grouping like terms, right? So here we have a cubed b squared. We have a cubed b squared, right? So these two guys are like terms. We also have a cubed b squared, right? So we have this guy here. We also have this guy. We also have this guy, right? And here we have a squared b cubed. We also have a squared b cubed, and we have a squared b cubed, right? So here we've been able to identify all the like terms. So now let's group the like terms. So we are going to have, let's start with the ones in green. So that will be 5a cubed b squared, then plus 7a cubed b squared, then minus 9a cubed b squared. Then let's move on to the one in red. Then minus 3a squared b cubed plus 2a squared b cubed, then plus 4a squared b cubed, right? So here we have 5 plus 7, that's going to give us 12. Then minus 9, so we have 12 minus 9, right? So that's going to give us 3. So we have 3a cubed b squared. Now let's move on to this thing. We have minus 3 plus 2, that's going to give us minus 1. Then minus 1 plus 4, that's going to give us 3, right? So that will be plus 3a squared b cubed. And so this is the simplified expression for the